we are discussing odd extension. So what is odd extension? To understand this one, we have to understand last lecture. In last lecture we discussed if a function graph is given, then how to find out whether that is a odd function graph or not. So for that what we have done, either we have taken left hand side of y-axis graph or we have taken right hand side of y-axis graph. Suppose we are taking right hand side of y-axis graph, then that graph we are rotating 180 degree with respect to x-axis and y-axis. Then that graph should coincide with the left hand side graph. Then we can say that function is odd function. But in odd extension what will be given? See, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So here given is what? This function is what? Odd function. Y equal to fx is odd function. Y equal to fx is odd function, and x greater than 0, this graph is given. So we know this is odd function, then this graph should be also symmetric. So we know graph on right hand side, we don't know graph on left hand side. So we have to find out this graph. So how to find out this graph? So for finding left hand side graph, we have to rotate this graph with respect to y-axis and with respect to x-axis. Okay, so how to rotate? So suppose we are rotating with respect to y-axis. Okay, so this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, rotating with respect to y-axis 180 degree. So if you rotate this one, then what will happen? This graph will come like that. Okay, this graph will come like that. But this is not odd function. Okay, because you are rotated with respect to y-axis 180 degree. Okay, so we got this one. Now we have to rotate this one with respect to x-axis 180 degree. So what we will do? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So this graph rotate with respect to x-axis 180 degree. So if you rotate this one, then what will happen? This will come. Okay, so after rotating with respect to x-axis, we'll get this one. So y equal to fx is odd function. So left hand side, x greater than 0, this graph should be there, and for x less than 0, this graph should be there. So how to find out this graph if this is given? Similarly, if this graph is given, then how to find out this graph? So if this is given, then what to do? Same thing. First we have to rotate with respect to x-axis, then we will get this one. Then we have to rotate this one with respect to y-axis, then we will get this one. So vice versa we have to do. Okay, so this function is given, fx is given what? Suppose gx. Okay, this function x greater than 0, fx is given gx. Then what is this function? What is this function? So how to find out? So one by one we discuss. See, we are rotating this graph with respect to what? Y-axis 180 degree. So whenever we are rotating with respect to y-axis 180 degree, then what we have to do here? Okay, so we have discussed in transformation of graph. If I replace x with minus x, then we have to rotate graph with respect to y-axis 180 degree. So here what you do? X we have to replace with minus x. So function will come what? Y equal to what will come? G of minus x will come. Okay, so if I replace x with minus x, so y equal to what? G of minus x will come. Okay, now what you do? Rotate with respect to x-axis 180 degree. So whenever we are rotating with respect to x-axis, so we have discussed in transformation graph, in that case what you have to do? We have to replace y with minus y. So here what you have to replace? Y with minus y. So what will happen here? Instead of y we have to put minus y. So what will come here? Minus y equal to what? Minus gx. Sorry, g of minus x. Okay, so instead of y we are putting minus y. So what will come? Minus y equal to g of minus x. So what will come here? Y equal to what? G of minus x. So this function will be nothing but what? Y equal to minus of g of minus x. So here fx how to define? For x greater than 0, already given, fx equal to gx is given. And for x less than 0, what will come here? Minus of g of minus x. Minus of g of minus x we can do. Okay, similarly, if this one fx is given like that for x less than 0. Okay, x less than 0 given is what? Gx. Then for x greater than 0, what will come? Minus of g of minus x. This will come. We are discussing example. Example is y equal to fx is odd function such that fx equal to ln for all x belongs to closed interval 1 to infinite. Then find the function. So we have to find a function, we have to find out. So given is what? Fx is odd function. So we know if it is an odd function, that means graph should be symmetric about origin. Second thing is given are fx equal to ln for all x belongs to closed interval 1 to infinite. Okay, and this graph we already drawn. X belongs to 1 to infinite, fx is what? Ln x. So this is the graph. Okay, so we know 1 to infinity graph we know, and we know fx is what? Odd function. So first thing, domain should be symmetric. So 1 to infinity is in domain, then we can say that x belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 should be in domain. Okay, that means we have to find out function in this interval. So what should be the function for x belongs to minus infinity to minus 1? Okay, and we know this function. So with the help of this function, we have to find out what function will come in this side. Okay, so we know fx is odd function, that means graph should be symmetric about origin. So right hand side graph is given. So how to find out left hand side graph? So this graph we have to rotate with respect to y-axis and with respect to x-axis 1 degree. So first thing we have to rotate with respect to y-axis. Okay, rotating 180 degree with respect to y-axis. So if you rotate 180 degree with respect to y-axis, so what will happen? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So if you rotate this one, so this is 1 comma 0, so here what will come? Minus 1 comma 0, and this graph will come like that. This graph will come. Okay, so first you are rotating with respect to y-axis. Now this graph we have to rotate with respect to x-axis. So what you will do? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So rotate with respect to x-axis 180 degree. So if you rotate with respect to x-axis 180 degree, so what will come here? This one will come. So this point is what? Minus 1 comma 0. So this graph will come. Okay, so left hand side what should be the graph should be there? This graph should be there. Okay, so fx graph left hand side should be this one. Then how to find out this function? So we know fx equal to ln x is there. So this graph you are rotating. This graph you are rotating 180 degree with respect to y-axis. So in transformation of graph we have discussed that if you are rotating graph with respect to y-axis 180 degree, then in function what you will do? Instead of x we have to replace minus x. So here we have x, so instead of x what you will put? Minus x. So here what will come? F of x equal to what will come? Ln of minus x. Ln of minus x will come. So if you are rotating 180 degree with respect to y-axis, so here instead of x we have to put minus x. So fx equal to ln of minus x will come. Then we have to rotate with respect to x-axis 1 degree. So in that case what you have to do? Instead of y we have to replace with minus y. So this one we can write y also. So instead of y we are putting what? Minus y. So minus y equal to ln of minus x. So here what will come? Y equal to what will come? Ln of minus. So minus of ln minus x will come. So here in this side fx must be minus of ln minus x should be there. So how to define here? Fx will be given ln x for x belongs to 1 to infinite, and minus of ln of minus x for x belongs to minus infinite to minus 1. So this is open, this is closed. Next we are discussing important point. Important point is y equal to fx is odd function and x equal to 0 is in domain. Then f of 0 must be 0. If f of 0 is not equal to 0, then that function is not odd function or that function is not defined. For example, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Suppose at 0, right hand side graph we are getting this. So at 0 at we are getting 2. So it is an odd function, then graph will be symmetric about origin. So we should get this one graph. So this value should be what? -2. So at 0 we are getting two values, 2 and -2. So this is odd function. By graph we can say this is odd function. But it is not a function because at 0 we are getting 2 and -2. So this is not a function. Not a function. If it is not a function, so how we can say this function is even or odd? So if at 0 we are getting 2, that means -2 should be get. If we are getting at 0, 2 and -2, then this is not a function. Or this is x-axis and this is y-axis. This graph, you can see this graph is what? Odd function graph. Okay, if you check, this graph is what? Odd function graph. So at 0, f of 0 we are getting what? 0. F of 0 we are getting 0, and this is a function because with respect to 0 only we are getting one value. So if you draw any line parallel to y-axis, it is intersecting maximum one point. So this is a function and it is a odd function. One more graph we are taking. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. At 0, this is 2, and this side we are getting this graph. So you can see this graph is also an odd function graph. So at 0, 2 is not possible, and 0 -2 also not possible because 0 is not in domain. If 0 is not in domain, then we can check these graphs are symmetric about origin. So this is a function and this is a odd function. So from here we can say that if 0 is in domain, then only possible is what? F of 0 must be 0. If f of 0 is not equal to 0, then this case will come, and in this case this is not a function. Okay.